exercise should feel good. And that's not, I've come from the elite world of sport. Like exercise never felt good, but during pregnancy, there should be absolutely no pain. It should not exhaust you or floor you, and it should energize you. So you want to work in that zone where it actually makes your life easier, not harder.
There still seems to be an awful lot of myths and misconceptions around training during pregnancy, with everyone seemingly having a different idea of what women can or can't do. Baz, could you give us your view? What is kind of your golden rules of how someone can train during pregnancy?
Yeah, this space is evolving really quickly. I mean, very sadly, only 8% of personal trainers have a pre- and postnatal qualification. And what I have observed in the fitness space is that most women don't want to go and find a pre- and postnatal trainer. Actually, they just want to stay because that sense of community is so strong. With whatever sport and fitness they're doing, they want to stay there. But yet the trainers around them don't really know how to support this life stage. I did my pre- and postnatal qualification with an absolutely pioneering lady, like over 10 years ago now, probably like 12, 13 years ago. She was called Jenny Burrell. She's still in the game. She's absolutely brilliant. But she was teaching us how to coach women to squat and deadlift and lunge and lift weights. And the backlash from her pre- and postnatal qualification from the sector was huge, because at that stage in the game, it was like rest, mummy yoga, don't do very much. And she was like, hang on a minute. If you're on baby number 2, you are at home, like racing around after a toddler. You need to be fit. And this is really functional movement. So that's my background, if you like. And also that was approach to my body when I had my children. You've got people who kind of ignore the fact they are pregnant, right? So they are kind of like the people that like, I just want to keep on training, get my head down, and they might be part of a situation where there's a badge of honor if you can lift weights until a certain month, if you can run up until like 8 months pregnant. It's just this like external, validation of like how successful you are, and then how quickly you can get back. It's like, oh my God, look at you, you're amazing. Like, I have no time for that. For me, that is utter nonsense. And and it really frustrates me, that kind of badge of honor approach to like your pregnancy and your attitude to training. What I am a much bigger fan of is, well, first of all, you have your experience of pregnancy, your birth experience, your ability to cut, like how your body is so out of your control, right? There are things that you can do, but actually sometimes you are just served up a really, really hard situation. And that's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's just what's happened. And those people need to have that like, right, I'm going to get you back to running. I'm going to get you back to netball. I'm going to get you back to CrossFit, but this is going to take this much time. And we need to acknowledge that your partner's left you. You've got no money. You've got no childcare. You've had no sleep. Like, all of that stuff has to be acknowledged, and then we work from that place. And I think you have to really hear pregnant women and postnatal women and fully hear their whole life, and then work with them from there. You can't come in at all with this life stage in particular with you stick with me, I've got you, I'll lose you this dress size, we'll smash this out, you're going to do an Ironman in 3 months, right, let's crack on. And some women will come to you wanting that, but you've just got to hold that space and say, right, like, let's just take a step back, take a beat. I will get you whatever results you want, but we need to work on the time frame. And for me, it's often a massive, massive shift in a woman's connection with their body, because it's like, you need to tell me all the information your body is giving you, and let's work with that.
Why do you still think there is so many people, or so many so-called experts, saying that women should just take it easy during pregnancy? They shouldn't do any exercise almost from the moment they've realised that they're pregnant. Do you still encounter this mindset of you just need to rest for 9 months, even though you say that's not practical or advisable?
I mean, there are some cultures that's just their belief. There are some cultures that just fundamentally believe that that's kind of, you shouldn't, rest is best. And also I think that the medical and midwifery profession, as a rule, like not all midwives, but as a rule, don't understand exercise. They don't tend to love exercise. They will say, be active. They will say, do it. It's a very generalized term. So actually those people that you're getting medical advice from don't always understand the space you're in. I also think that and more and more women, if you've experienced baby loss, if you've experienced IVF, if you've had any trauma in terms of actually getting pregnant, there is this huge nervousness around doing harm, right? And it's that if I don't want to drink a cappuccino, I don't want to eat pineapple, I don't want to do any exercise because I'm really worried about getting it wrong. And so to have trust in a professional that says, do you know what? Like, let's just take this a step at a time. Let's just see what you can do, and to explain to you the science and, you know, the how important the pelvic floor and the core work is and the benefits that's going to make for you. And so I don't come across them as much, but I totally understand why some women, it's that fear of getting it wrong that means you do nothing.
So what would your advice be for someone who is going into pregnancy with a full board of health, if you like? What's your recommendation of guidelines for how much, how often, what type of training they can do?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you absolutely, when you're in your second trimester after week 12, you go and see a women's health physiotherapist and you go private. Like, it's like 80, 90 quid, depending on where you are in the country. And you get a pelvic floor exam and and they're the only people that can accurately assess where your body is at. Everything else is guesswork. And that you say, right, I want to do this, this and this. I want to have this kind of childbirth. I'd love to do this after my baby's born. Is that possible? What's the risk? And they will be able to fully assess and support you in that. I think that, I can't answer that question because it's kind of like everyone is so different. But what I can say is that exercise should feel good. And that's not, I've come from the elite world of sport. Like, exercise never felt good. But during pregnancy, there should be absolutely no pain. It should not exhaust you or floor you, and it should energize you. So you want to work in that zone where it actually makes your life easier, not harder. And you will and some days are going to be easier than others. And it might be that actually, I got to the stage, I swam up until my due date, but like, I actually spent longer in the shower on that last swim than I did in the water in the pool. I was like, you know what? I've done 5 lengths. I feel all right. Like, I'd never do 5 lengths. It's like, what is the point? But actually, those 5 lengths felt amazing. And it's kind of really changing your relationship as to like, what is making my body feel good? Well, there's no should have, could have, like, look at what everyone else is doing. It's like, what's the effect it's having on you?
When it comes to life after having the baby, I think so many, again, having spoken to a few women I know in preparation for this interview, women who love training, loved exercise, but due to some issues after pregnancy, with the pelvic floor, with ab separation, were told, oh, you can't do that again. One person I spoke to, oh, you can never do a burpee again. And almost just this, obviously you've got a cascade of hormones going through your system anyway, but to be told then you can't do something ever again for the rest of your life. This kind of ties into other stuff we've talked about, Baz, but again, it's that disconnect between what people are being told. Is it an education piece? Yeah. Is it awareness piece? Do you encounter this a lot? Women coming to you saying, I've been told I can never squat again, I can never run again because of pregnancy.
Yeah. And you never tell a woman she can't do anything. So if I remember having a similar situation, but it was a marathon runner, and she said, I've been told I can never run again. I was like, okay. I said, right, well, the reason why they said that is because of X, Y, and Z. I said, if you want to run, I can get you running, but the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you do this rehab, we get to this support. Because with running, I'd argue burpees. I think most people can live without a burpee in their life. But like, let's say running, for many people, that is that sense of freedom. There'll be mental health benefits to it. They might have a buddy that they always run with. And it's like, okay, like, if running is so important to you, then this is what has to happen. You can't be constipated. You must warm up. You must do my strength and conditioning program. You're only allowed to run to begin with on a walk, on a couch to 5K, and we are going to move on from there. Like, but I think that most people get that and they go, okay, I can work with that. I can absolutely work with that. If I just said no, it's like, that's just a really bad answer. There are the body is amazing. And that's the thing that we have to hold on to, that a female's body especially is fantastic. Yes, we are faced with challenges on a monthly basis and we go through inevitable life stages that have a massive impact on us. But our body is so good at at healing, at recovering, at adapting. And if you have, if there's a certain activity that's really important to you, you can do it, but you can't do it tomorrow. But that's okay. Like, I remember there was a girl that I was working with, had a baby, had massive mental health issues after having this baby, and also had massive pelvic floor issues, which meant that she couldn't do the CrossFit that really helped her with her mental health. She just couldn't do it. And I worked with her. I got her all the gadgets. We got her the pants. There was these special pants that would support her pelvic floor. We got her the expertise that she required. She was going to go home. She was going to go home to a foreign country. And she sent me a picture of her at the top of this mountain, having carried her baby up this mountain. And she was like, I'm on top of the world. And we got her there. We got her there. It took a long time and it took a lot of expertise, but we got her there. So you can, and you have to. My approach with pregnant women is you need to meet them where they're at, honestly, like where is their body, where is their mental health at? And then you have to have a really positive mindset as to where you can take them. But, but you can't just say, oh, sod it, we're going to crack on, because we're not 20. We haven't got 20-year-old bodies where we've got a lot of life that has gone through our bodies, and you have to respect that.
The speed of recovery or speed of getting your body back is the common expression, right? When we still see so much societal pressure on this celeb has got back, got abs back after however many weeks postpartum. Do you think we're ever going to see a change in that conversation about the societal pressure of how quickly women should or could get their bodies back?
I hope so. I think that from a professional point of view, the 8% of personal trainers that are qualified, like, that is a narrative that is absolutely changing. I think I do see less and less people doing the, bounce back boot camps, like little black dress boot camp type. I mean, of course, they're still going to be existing, but I just think that the voices that exist in this space that are coming from a nurturing, healing, like, let's build you up, like that functional movement, like, let's focus on you, that they're louder and they're becoming more credible. So we absolutely have to believe that is going to change. Yeah.
Especially when you mentioned the mental health side of things as well. Seeing this constantly, if you go, every time you go online or newspapers or magazines, someone's got their body back, when you're already feeling that way, it can't be helping the whole mental health conversation around, postnatal depression, other things. Surely there's enough going on without thinking I've got to get back in a bikini.
Yeah, after my first child, like, my mum, with every best intention in the world, just came in and was like, oh, like, Paula Radcliffe was running 5Ks within a week of having her baby. And I'm like, okay, like, I can't move. Like, I know that I've been an international, I can't actually move. Everything hurts. I'm in so much pain and agony. Like, that is really unhelpful. Now, I had a sports science degree. I had a master's. I'd been a PT for 10 years. Like, I'd been on the best rowing team in the world. But even I felt vulnerable with her saying that. I was like, oh, like, am I not good enough? But actually, do you know what? You surround yourself with great people that support you and give you the right energy. But when you're in a downward spiral and when you're in a vulnerable place, you think you're not enough, don't you? You always, doesn't matter who you are, you're like, I'm just not enough. I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing more. And I think every single life stage a woman goes through, puberty, pre-postnatal, perimenopause, menopause, we're vulnerable. And that's why it's really important that you get that positive, those really good, credible people around you that are, like, going to sort of bat away all that nonsense.